Hi everyone, today I just want to make a video around physical changes and the changes you'll see once you start quitting alcohol. And I think for everybody, one of the main benefits and one of the things you would look forward to when quitting the booze would be the physical changes, because nobody wants to look an old, haggard, just not what you should look like. And I think we've all been there when we looked in the mirror and just not happy with what we see. And the first changes that I noticed when I quit boozing back in 2017 and quit again this year in 2025 in July, and I'm firmly off it now, was just the changes around your kind of skin, your hair, and for me, my beard. I mean, I just remember looking in the mirror and it's not a vanity thing at all, but I remember just looking into the mirror, just especially the second time I started boozing again from 22 to 25, and just those bags under my eyes and the bloodshot eyes as well, and just your hair looking dry, and it's just not a good look. And I think once you get older, the recovery periods just seem every single year to get longer and longer, and before you know it, you're taking days to recover. And there's nothing worse, especially on a Monday morning, or you've been out the Friday and you're meeting folk on the Saturday, and you just look into the mirror, or you're logging on to your morning meeting and you just look absolute terrible, or you're away in the shower and you just know you look haggard, and it's not great to do. And I remember the first time I quit alcohol in 2017. I remember about maybe must have been 4, 5, 6 months later, looking in the mirror, and like I say, it's not a vanity thing, but I remember just thinking, God, you look so much better than you did 6 months ago. Just none of that puffiness. The eyes were white as they should be. Hair didn't look dry, beard didn't look really dry, skin didn't look kind of red and blotchy, and it's just an amazing thing to do. And there's just nothing better than, like I say, waking up in the morning once you've kind of got a few months under your belt, and looking in the mirror and just genuinely being happy with kind of how you look. The second one is your weight, and I think everyone that, unless you're one of those lucky folk that can kind of still get up and get to the gym, I think everyone's a few kilos overweight, especially once you get older. I remember being younger, back in my teens and early 20s, and I just think all I did was eat McDonald's pretty much, Burger King's, pizzas, and was out on student nights 3-4 nights a week, and still thin as a rake. But as soon as you start getting into your 30s, you just get overweight, and it's just not a good feeling, and not a good look. And when you do quit alcohol, I think weight just obviously naturally goes off with the amount of calories that you're not taking in anymore. And I know a lot of people will have kind of sugar cravings and other cravings, to try kind of fill that gap of the booze, but for me, they kind of subsided after a few months, and the weight goes down. And it's not only the fact that you're not taking in loads of calories, it's the fact that maybe now you're cooking your own dinner instead of having that 1,500 calorie doner kebab or pizza. You're making yourself sometimes healthy, and I easily eat a lot more than I did when I was boozing. I wasn't a big boozer anyway. I wasn't a big eater anyway, but nowadays I seem to eat so much more, but I weigh less, which is pretty incredible. The third physical change is stamina. I remember running for the bus and being absolutely shattered, and I mean like feeling like I could throw up. I remember that being one of the many wake-up calls I had. And with the stamina, it's a funny thing, because I would say 80-90% of life just improves, but stamina is a thing that does take time, and it kind of maybe coincides with a bit of the energy side. But I just remember my stamina being absolutely terrible, and I've been fit on and off through my life, going to the gym for 6 months at a time, then binning it, then maybe going back for 9 months and then binning it for a bit. So I know what it's like to kind of feel genuinely really good because I'm fit, and that after a couple of months just starts to return. And I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that you're not absolutely knackered, and you're trying to just get through the day after having a heavy weekend, or having maybe a few beers the night before. And I think no matter how fit you are, if you've had 5-6 pints the night before or a good session, you're never going to be full, like fighting fit, regardless of how fit you are normally. And stamina returning is just a brilliant thing. There's nothing better than going out if you're into running or going to the gym, or I like walking. I love just being able to go out for a long walk and come back and just feel great, rather than, you know, by the time I'm round the corner, I'm genuinely feeling like I'm going to throw up or I'm going to pass out. The fourth physical change is just your gut and digestion, for me anyway. I just remember my gut being all over the place many times, and a lot of that I think was down to the fact that, you know, I was I always just class myself as a quintessential British binge drinker, you know, out of the weekends and weddings, funerals, any excuse, and I just didn't really eat when I was out, and if I did, I was nibbling at naan breads or poppadoms or buying bags of crisps or Haribos, just trying to get some energy in me. And by the time Monday came, my appetite just wasn't there, and my guts were just all over the place. I used to try and kind of, you know, take these remedies from the chemist to try and make it work, and, you know, it was just, there was many times as well that I just kind of felt spewing after a few pints, or after dinners, or like rich desserts. I would, on midweek, I would kind of just not feel great, and it really, after about 6 months of not drinking, it just kind of healed itself. And then all of a sudden, you know, you can eat spicy food, you can have rich desserts, you can have cups of coffee, and they're staying down. And it's no wonder that your guts is in pieces. You know, think of all the stuff and booze you're putting down it. And I think that has a lot to do with, you know, it's maybe linked with stamina as well, that, you know, it's got to hit your stamina, like feeling tired, energy levels, if your gut's all over the place, because all of us have been unwell before. And if you've got something like a stomach bug, it just absolutely destroys you. The fifth one is just a kind of reminder, I think, that everything just, I guess it's not a physical change, but it's just that, to know that that everything takes time. I've made quite a few other videos around kind of this not being an absolute instant fix, that it's going to take time. I think just with these days, everyone, or most people, just want a pill to take, and kind of all of the booze problems go away, and the cravings go away, and the health issues go away. But a lot of it does take time, and like I said before, stuff like the stamina does take a while, and same with the energy levels. You've been giving your body an absolute bruising for X amount of years, sometimes decades, and it's not all going to get repaired in a minute. And it was like that with the digestive stuff. I had the digestive problems for years, you know, like basically munching Rennie tablets for fun, you know, to try and get rid of indigestion. I remember the first time, I've made a video around it as well, my first ever, the hangover that led to me quitting for 5 years the first time, and I had indigestion and heartburn for like a full week, and it was like proper heartburn where, you know, you'd pay £1,000 just to have a burp, you know. It got to that stage, and all that stuff takes time, but it's worth it. It's completely worth it once you've got a few months under your belt and everything's kind of, you know, you're starting to fill your time, and you're starting to be more positive, and the brain fog's gone, and hopefully the anxiety's gone. Once then the physical changes come, and it's just such a wonderful place to be in. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'll take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.